So as we just said, you've got your earnings out, and what I took at least away from it is that you exceeded the expectations with respect to profitability, earnings per share, exceeded them by a good margin. Fell a little short of what was expected on the revenues. We can talk about that, but let's start with where you really had the beat on the earnings. It looks to me like it's a story of the theme parks and the studios. Is that the story from where you sit?
It is the story from where I sit for the quarter that we just announced, yes. Both of those units were up 20%, 21%. Parks and Resorts up 20%, Studio up 21%. The result of a continued trend in the marketplace that is quite positive, certainly tourism visitation to our parks, not just in the U.S., but across the globe, and the fact that the product we have in the marketplace is working. And of course, on the studio front, is the result of years of smart investment, the acquisitions that we made of Marvel, Pixar, and Lucasfilm, certainly part of that, but also fantastic execution by a first-rate team across the board.
On the theme park subject, how sensitive is your business to consumer spending? Because that's something we watch at Bloomberg pretty carefully, and there's been a little bit of softness in the last week or two. How sensitive is your business to that?
Well, clearly a healthy consumer is good for the Walt Disney Company's theme park business, but the vacations and the experience that we offer are extremely unique. Something that consumers, covet. In some cases, they save up for a long period of time, or as part of a long-term planning in their lives, whether for vacation or celebrating something else in their lives. And so they tend to sacrifice that less than sometimes other things. But we also rely on consumers not just from the United States, but from across the globe. And we rely on the intellectual property and the storytelling that we create as a company too. And so there's a lot in those parks that leverages the great storytelling of the studio, for instance, and remains in demand even when times are a little bit more difficult economically.